Alright, YouTube, we're about to fight Diablo. End of the game. Let's go. Haha, I can't wait. It's gonna be so awesome. Let me wait. There he is. I'm gonna stand back. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh shit.
You shall never wake from this nightmare. Your own terror. Can you feel your death approaching? You shall never wake from this nightmare.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Is that it?
No.
I guess not. Almost got him, YouTube. Got him. Holy smoke. We're pounding on him. Oh shit.
I'm carrying too much.
There's gotta be some crap I don't need.
I can't carry anymore.
The day is long.
Leave time.
Alright. Alright, YouTube, that's it. That's Diablo 3. Let's watch the cinematic, and that's pretty much it.
In the end, it was a mortal heart that saved 2 worlds from ruin and cast down the prime evil forever. day breaks for both angels and men. For mankind's greatest champion, the Nephilim, rose to confront the darkness that we, in our pride, would not face. My brethren, I will take my place among you once again. But this time, as a mortal. Since justice has been met this day, I will now stand as wisdom. On behalf of those who risked all to save us. Forevermore, we shall stand together, angels and men, in the light of this glorious new dawn.
So, nightmare difficulties waiting for me. Alright, YouTube. So, that's the Diablo 3 walkthrough. Thanks for watching. The game was amazing, man. That's all I have to say. You know, my only complaint was pretty much the technical difficulties the first couple of days. You know, I was waiting for this game for 12 years. Diablo 2 is my favorite game. And I think Diablo 3 has a place up there, man. It's one of the best games, man, ever made. No doubt about it. Time will tell, like usual, but it's up there. Whether or not it's my game of the year is yet to be seen. I think I play a little bit more, but just off my initial run, it's up there, definitely. It's really between that and Mass Effect 3 for this year so far. But make sure to subscribe to our channel, Not2NerdyEnt, for any updates, for any walkthroughs. I'm slowly putting up Ghost Recon Advanced Soldier. That's a walkthrough that Hector completed. Also, we'll be putting up some Dragon's Dogma for the walkthrough I'm doing for that game. I'm still pretty early in it, but I'll be focusing on that game until Lollipop Chainsaw comes out in about maybe say 2 weeks. After that, Hector will be doing Spec Ops Online, and we got a couple podcasts coming up. We got Max Payne 3. We're gonna be talking about this game, Diablo 3, as well as The Walking Dead. We'll be talking about, and Hector will be putting up the review for that. We both are gonna pretty much play through that. I already completed. Hector's completing it, so look forward to that. And you know, just stay glued to our site, not2nerdy.com, for any news in the video game industry, as well as we post up everything that we do on the site, our vlogs, any trailers or videos, any any reviews that we do for the games. Look for this Diablo 3 review. Should be up at least by Saturday. I'll probably do it on Saturday more than likely. Yeah, look for the rest of the reviews for any of the walkthroughs we do as well. Besides that, follow us on Twitter for any updates to the site. We mostly post, what walkthroughs we're going to be doing, if we're starting something, if we're uploading anything, and any of the updates on the site as well. Besides that, like us on Facebook, and that's pretty much it. So I'm just gonna let the credits roll to the end. I love to have all the developers and people that worked on the game get credit. When you're doing these walkthroughs, because it's their baby. As much as I love this game, they're the ones who worked hard on this game for God knows how long. So I think they deserve credit, and we'll let the credits roll. So yeah, I think just Diablo 3, man, just just off my impressions. You know, I don't want to do my whole entire full review right here, but you know, it's just, you know, the game is pretty much, you know, it's really hard to find any flaws. If there are any, it's very minor, you know. The one thing I would love to see in this type of game is something that Borderlands 2 is deeming to do, which is, you know, more dynamic quests, you know. Whereas, you know, you have a choice on what type of quests you'll get, you know, whether it's, you know, moral decisions or, you know, depending on what type of reward you get, you know, there's stuff they can do there. You know, I really feel like, yeah, they went for that whole entire polished thing where they kept it pretty linear. I would love to see the game open up a little bit more. But besides that, I mean, that's really a minor, you know, complaint, because that's really just something that, you know, they can improve on, you know. At this point, I mean, does it really change the experience? I mean, they pretty much nailed the gameplay. I mean, co-op is amazing. Jumping in between whether it's your friends or just random games is perfect, you know what I mean? Like, being able to choose what quest you're on and get right into someone's game is very helpful, you know. That's what I did for this walkthrough. Just so I could show you guys co-op with the, you know, the Diablo 3 boss, you know. And it's only going to get better, man. You can just, you know, farm these bosses over and over, get the better loot. Then you have the auction house if you don't have the time to play as much as you want, but you want the good gear, you know, you can buy it and, you know, play with your friends, you know. This is like the type of game that's never ending. And that was great about Diablo 2, man. I played that game for damn near 10 years, and it never got old, man. You just kept trying new classes or harder difficulties, or, you know, or just, you know, the whole entire loot aspect of the game. And it's just always fun to play with other people, even whether it's randoms or friends, man. It's just great. You know, and I love how they streamlined a lot of the experience. You know, town portals, you don't have to, you know, they don't exist in this game. You just automatically can go to town anytime you want to. The banner system's excellent for, you know, joining up with someone else if there's somewhere else in the world. The skill system, I love it. You don't have to put points in everything and min-max and all that stuff that just keeps you in menus and not playing the game. You know, you get to pick your skills. It really allows you to experiment with different skills, you know, because you're not putting your points in skills that you're not going to use, which is just, you know, it's brilliant. You know, it's a brilliant system, man, because it gives you the ability to customize your character without having to worry about little things, you know, like, oh, I didn't put enough skills in this, or, you know, I can't equip this because I put, you know, the right points allocated. It just, you know, these runes give you different, you know, variety on each different skill, and you can equip each skill in and out, you know. And I think what they really nailed the most is the hotbar system. You know, I've played so many games where they just map a million skills, you know, 1 through 0, all on your, you know, your keyboard, and this. They've been able to perfectly, you know. Skills 1 through 4, and then you can switch them out. You know why? Because you have 4 fingers. You got 4 fingers on your keyboard. You can easily hit each one of those skills at any time, and then you have your left and right button for the other 2 skills. 6 skills is the perfect amount. You don't need any more or any less. That's the perfect amount of skills for any type of action RPG. Any more is too much. You should just have the ability to switch it on the fly just like that for any situation. And I think that's just the way it should be for RPGs from now on. You know, I'm just really sick of all these MMO games, you know. And it's WoW that created this problem, because, you know, people just copy everything that WoW does, you know. And Blizzard even realizes making this game, like, you know, that's a perfect amount of skills, you know. And the thing is, I would love to see this on the consoles with the controller, you know, because I think that'll widen the audience a lot too, you know. I want everyone to experience this game. You know, it's great that it can run on most PCs, but, you know, it'd be great to have it on the console too, you know. And, you know, I love that they added, you know, excellent voice acting. I love the lore without the game, you know. They really brought a story experience to Diablo that was never there before. You know, I really never cared about the story in Diablo. And this one, I mean, they didn't shove it in your face, but they gave you just enough, man, to, you know, give you some type of motivation for playing through the game besides just the loot. You know, I was really interested in the story. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, we knew that you're going to fight Diablo at the end, of course. But, you know, I really liked the little twists and turns throughout the story. And, you know, it was nicely told, you know. And the cinematics are just amazing in this game. The best in cinematics I've ever seen in the game. I mean, that's easy. That's easily said, man. They're just amazing. I think CGI work of Blizzard is just, it's known throughout the industry how good they're at CGI. And yeah, it's just little small elements, throughout the game, just little touches that they did. The rune system, the crafting system's great. You salvage your magical materials and then you use that to get randomized, loot that you train to get. Only problem with that, at the end, I kind of was maxed out on everything, so I really couldn't find anything. And people say the game is too easy, but at the same time, like, that's what the harder difficulty is for. You have better loot and harder enemies, and I like the way they did it. Maybe they should allow all the difficulties to be unlocked at once. That'd be nice. But I think the way they did the tier system is good. Because you could just go through the story on normal mode and then work your way up from there. Whereas maybe they could have set it where you could change your difficulty at any time. But I think that's a lot harder work to do in a game with so many things that could make it imbalanced. So I think, like, if they want that streamlined experiences, there's some things you have to lose in that experience. I think they had some definite trade-offs that they had to consider in order to make the game balanced. That's one of the things that I have rarely seen RPGs do. Whereas I had people that were maybe 5-10 levels above me, and the game was still balanced. Like they weren't just sweeping through the whole entire thing, one shot and everything. They really was balanced, and that's amazing. I have no idea how they did that, but every time I played with someone else, even if they were in a lower level than me, you'll see in my videos that they pretty much were able to hold their own, and it kept the difficulty consistent, and that's pretty amazing. I would love to see that in other games, especially like games like maybe Borderlands 2 that are coming out that has like the type of first-person Diablo experience, which is one of my favorite games as well. And I think it'd be great if because I remember in the first one, people just come in your game and they're high level and just burn through everything, and it kind of can ruin the experience. You'll level up quickly, but at the same time, it's kind of, it kind of beats all the fun out of it because, it's not challenging anymore. You don't want something too easy, you don't want something too hard. So I think the balance there. If you want a harder difficulty, it's there. If you just want breeze through a normal game, it's there as well. So I'm definitely gonna try different characters and maybe harder difficulties, and in the future, definitely look for higher classes from the other classes for me. Just quick little videos. I'll showcase different classes I play at, what level I'm at. In the future, when I have free time, because I'm not gonna stop playing this game. It's gonna be a game I'm gonna be playing for a very, very long time. So these credits are really going and pretty long, so I'm gonna probably gonna cut it here because I have nothing else to say about this game. I'll save the rest of it for the review, but I pretty much discussed what I liked about the game, and I really just wish that they didn't have such a rough start, with all the online DRM issues. It'd been nice if there was some type of way you could play it offline, and I understand that because of this auction house, they needed a way for them to stop people from duping items and hacking the system. So that's why they had to have this online DRM. And the advantage of that is always you log into their servers and your progress is always saved. The bad part, of course, is if you don't have an internet connection, or if you lose your internet connection, you'll either lose progress or you can't play the game. So I mean, it's a trade-off, and I really don't know the solution to that. But at the end of the day, I've had less server problems than I really expected. I would have thought maybe the first week I wouldn't even be able to play this game. But everyone's got their reviews up. They've been able to play. It's just they had a rough launch, and if Blizzard can't do it, I know who can. I mean, I know they have a 10 million user community of WoW, and they should be experienced at this type of launch for an online game. But hey, I don't think they even expected how much it was going to be popular. I mean, 6.3 million copies in 1 week. I mean, that's pretty crazy. What was it? 3.2 million in the first 24 hours. I mean, how do you even? I don't even know if that's physically possible to have that type of server load, be able to, if everyone's trying to log in when the game's released, you know. Maybe they should have did tiered releases for different locations, the East Coast now, the Pacific Coast another time. Maybe that would have been smarter, but you know, I'm not the guy behind, you know, maintaining these servers, so what do I know? Yeah, I think it's very hard to meet that type of demand. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end it right now. As you can see, I mean, these credits are crazy. I mean, this game's been in development for so long, so you kind of had to expect that. So that's pretty much it. This is Drew from Not Too Nerdy. I'm out.